Everyone. Dr. Stillman here today to talk about things I think about when it comes to listening to or hearing or trusting doctors, experts, gurus, whoever you want to call them, whatever you want to call them. So I was inspired to make this video by a quote that I just shared on my Facebook and Instagram by Galileo Galilei, who said that in matters of science, the opinion of 1,000 is sometimes not worth the humble reasoning of an individual. And what he's getting at is the idea that a single person can spot a flaw in an idea that 1,000 other people have missed. And I see this all the time as a physician in people accepting a diagnosis as a label for them to wear. Hello, my name is Joe and I have fibromyalgia, right? But these diagnoses are not helpful to us in understanding what is wrong. And Hippocrates said something very powerful about illness. He said illness, and I'm paraphrasing, really happens to us because we transgress against our nature. We create situations in which we're acting really unnaturally, we're being excessive, we're being indulgent. And when we don't do that, when we live within the bounds of our nature and our ability to live in a harmony with our environment, we don't get sick and illnesses disappear. And that's why he said the greatest medicine of all is teaching people how not to need it, right? And that's why I talk about this quote all the time. Somebody joked to me recently that I probably have it tattooed on my body. I don't, but the idea is really dear to my heart. And the reason is that people end up in these situations where they think, I have this disease and the treatment is this thing. And so I'm going to do that every day for the rest of my life. Whether it's I'm going to eat keto for every day for the rest of my life, or I'm going to eat carnivore every day for the rest of my life, or I'm going to do this every day for the rest of my life, right? Or as often as I need to in order to, maintain the health gains that I've had. But the amazing thing to me is the body is such a complex system, this kind of thinking, that the pattern we used to resolve an imbalance before is the pattern we should use to resolve every other imbalance. And any new imbalance we encounter is so myopic. And I've proven this to myself over and over again, both in my own case when I got better by doing things that I thought once upon a time were bad for me, or doing things I thought were healthy, but then later on I concluded were making me worse. And not only that, but seeing it in patients' labs who said, I can't eat that, it makes me sick. Or I can't do this, it makes me sick. Or I've got to keep doing this because it makes me better, right? But then you have people coming to you and saying, I can't change who I am or what I'm doing because it's worked so well for me in the past. And then they tell you how much they want your help getting them better, helping them fix this problem. And when you try to explain to them, well, the strategy you're using now to try and get better is not working for you. Let's try a new strategy. And they say, but this is the strategy that I like and have used, right? Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. This is the way a lot of people approach their medical care. And what's interesting is you don't have to be a doctor to spot this kind of thinking. In fact, it almost helps better or almost works better if you're not a doctor because you haven't been, as we say, indoctrinated, right? But I see people all the time saying, okay, we're going to go to the doctor, we're going to follow their advice, and we're going to get better. And then they don't get better. And they blame themselves, or they conclude that they had unrealistic expectations, or whatever. And then they accept and they settle for often a worse outcome they may achieve if they go a different route. And this is why, I really look at all of the different therapeutics that I have and can have as tools, right? And I always explain that to people. These are the tools we can use to get you better. But I always start by looking at the fundamentals. And that's my philosophy is I want to teach people how to be healthy. I want to teach them how to live with their nature so they're not, destroying their bodies with the simple things that they're doing. And it can be as simple, as many of you know, as using a night mode filter on your phone, as eating a balanced, healthy, local, seasonal diet that's varied and diverse. It is simple, but the details really matter. And people are very commonly will say, this is my dogma, this is my approach, this is what I'm going to do, even though it's still not working for them. And you don't have to be a doctor to see someone who's doubling down on a bad idea. And you can help them by saying, look, this isn't working for you. Be honest with yourself. Are you really going to keep trying to achieve health with this strategy that's obviously failing? And that is probably the most that you can do to help these folks. And hopefully eventually they figure it out and they try something different. So, as always, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my monthly newsletter, Dr. Stillman's Wellness Secrets, where I publish my candid opinions about what's going on in the world. And if you're ready to work with me, apply to work with me via my website, stillmanmd.com. Thanks everyone for watching, and take care. Have a great weekend.